Well, hey there, idiots. Welcome back to Observe. In today's video, we're going to be analyzing the nonverbal communication of a collection of people experiencing one stimuli, and that is pain. More on that in just a second. Let's go ahead and roll the intro first. All right, so, everyone experiences pain on some level in their life. It can be physical, psychological, spiritual, conceptual, and the list goes on for a ways. However, despite the universal experience of pain, there are no pain-exclusive nonverbal tells. This has led to a myriad of difficulties in a myriad of realms, but not the least of which has been the medical community. If you're watching this and you've had the unfortunate need to attend an emergency or urgent care room at your local clinic or hospital, then you have likely seen a chart that looks something like this one here on the screen. Charts like these have been created to aid in understanding a patient's level of suffering, but even though they are somewhat helpful, they are also quite limited due to one simple detail. Pain is subjective. How I experience pain, for instance, is different from how you experience pain. What causes one person significant pain might only slightly annoy another person. One profession that can attest to this in an exceedingly concrete fashion is the tattoo industry. As is shocking to literally no one, tattoos are known to hurt when you get them. However, that level of pain not only varies depending on where the tattoo is received, but it also varies from person to person as well. For example, I have a tattoo on my ribcage that I still, to this day, feel was the most uncomfortable tattoo I have received. It felt like a bad wasp sting, for instance, dragging around on the surface of my skin. But one of my friends almost dozed off during their rib piece, describing the sensation as borderline relaxing, or at very least monotonous. What? As you can likely see, the experience of pain is not universal, but it becomes even more complicated as chronic conditions enter into the picture. For people who are subjugated to relentless discomfort, the threshold for the average level of pain experienced at any given point shifts. While the pain that they are exposed to might rise above the threshold of what the majority of the population experiences day to day, there is little social infrastructure to make space for their condition. Oftentimes, there is little that can actually be done socially or medically to solve these long-term afflictions either, so life unfortunately plugs on regardless. This leaves people with these conditions with no other option but to also go on with their lives as well. Instead of being able to verbally and non-verbally express the discomfort of being in a consistent state of suffering in order to hopefully inspire the discovery of a solution, they are left feeling that such a goal is futile. So they attempt to lock in and power through as best as they can. While this allows them to function with more ease socially and professionally, it also means that many will misunderstand their life experience. What would cause a person without an excruciating chronic condition to gasp or grimace in pain might barely touch the threshold of someone who suffers daily. With that in mind, the person accustomed to experiencing higher levels of discomfort regularly might not physically show that discomfort nearly as overtly. This can lead to misunderstandings and doubt from people who assume that the experience of pain has universal displays. Unfortunately for everyone, not only is the experience of pain subjective, but so is the physical representation of it. With our current technology and psychological understanding, we are still unable to transmit reliable sensations as these from person to person, so we are left going by a person's word and their description of their experience. This increases responsibility for Honestly, both parties. It's the responsibility of the medical community, for instance, to trust the word of a patient and attempt to treat them appropriately and accordingly. However, it is also then the responsibility of the patient to give only the most honest and accurate information they can. Regrettably, abuse of the system has been observed on both sides. On one side, people whose job is to help those hurting have become jaded and calloused to the narrative of the afflicted, while on the other side, people who are not actually genuinely suffering can inflate their experiences in order to garner attention, diagnoses, or access to various difficult to receive drugs. This system of mistrust and abuse can only be addressed with technological innovation, psychological discovery, and attuned emotional intelligence. While scientific discoveries such as these can take time, we can all work on certain facets in our day-to-day life. Being able to spot minuscule indicators that a person is experiencing discomfort or pain can help us better aid those that we care about. Much of this relies on a person's ability to accurately observe and decode nonverbal communication, as it's much easier to lie verbally than it is with your nonverbal communication. With this in mind, in today's video, we will be viewing people voluntarily experiencing pain in a controlled yet entertaining environment. Eating hot wings. In a series called Hot Ones from the YouTube channel First We Feast, celebrities and other well-known individuals answer interview questions while eating increasingly spicy wings. This not only encourages more honest answers through the diversion of psychological resources and energy due to the pain, it also allows us to organically view real people experiencing real pain in a consumable and even entertaining way rather than in a troubling way. Today we will be watching a collection of people as they experience the most notorious hot sauce in the Hot Ones wing lineup, the bomb. As these people bite into this absurdly spicy snack, we will be watching their nonverbal avenues for various physical and physiological indicators of discomfort. That's all the introduction that I feel like we need for this video. I've been talking enough. Let's go ahead and dive right on in to the actual footage.
Here's my thing, when people create this, is it just to be assholes?
I think that actually is. When you get to here, you'd never put this on a sandwich. It's for psychos. It's for people who've burned out.
I see why I called the bomb, because that bitch just blew up.
One of the things that I admire about you most is your ability to always look at the glass as half full. To take all these negative experiences and turn them into a positive. So I want to give you a few between a rock and a hard place scenarios, and you tell me how you would spin it into a positive. Does that sound good? Getting booed off stage.
Whoo! Give me the water, man! See me over here struggling? Shit! Huh? What we say? Oh, shit. You say what?
So I want to give you a few between a rock and a hard place scenarios, and you tell me how you'd look at it as glass half full. Sound good?
Yeah.
Getting booed off stage.
I'm just gonna... Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do is kind of dissect what we're seeing as a physiological response to just spice in general. So immediately we're seeing the sweating, the sheen come out. That can be due to pain. Pain can cause that to happen in a person, but it's also caused by the heat of the capsaicin in the peppers. So that's a multifaceted one there. So obviously what we're going to be working with in this specific selection of people is going to be lightly muddied by the fact of the spice having an effect on the body as well. But despite that, we're seeing a number of other things come in here. We're seeing a fair amount of activity coming into the eyebrows, and this is actually morphing throughout the entirety of the experience. At some points, you could see it drawn together and lowered in more of an aggressive, angry expression, but then we see it later on with the eyebrows pushing upwards and inwards, and that would be more in that vein of fear or sadness as Kevin is desperately trying to psychologically deal with what has happened to his face at this moment. So we're seeing that. We're seeing a lot of venting gestures start to come out. Honestly, that's going to be related to the heat of the matter. When you see somebody starting to vent their underarms here, that's usually related to some form of warmth. And now this could be from embarrassment. This could be from just general warmth. It can be from the heat of a spicy pepper, what have you. That comes in there as well. We're seeing the very overt grimace of pain that many people would expect to see, where the face is very scrunched up and various aspects of other emotions play into that, not the least of which would be the pulling to the corners of the side of the mouth. That would be in partial fear as well. So we're seeing this complex concoction of emotional displays pour out of poor Kevin at this point as he's trying to cope with the very hot sauce. Let's see how he handles trying to respond to this in an eloquent way.
Okay. It ain't that bad.
Not that bad?
All right? Here's how. Brother, my tongue ain't working. I done lost taste. I'm going numb, brother. Okay, here's the thing. It's not that bad. Reason why it's not that bad is because you learn from it. You can't get smacked in the face and just hold your face. You gotta go, oh shit. Well, just in case they go to swing again, how do I move and how can I smack back? Everything is about countering and figuring out.
How about ripping a loud fart in class in front of your crush?
Yeah, brother, shit happens. You got to take that, baby. You know, that's what I did. I say that now. You know, that's how I got my wife. I'm gassy. I'm gonna be gassy today. I'll tell you that, fellas.
What about when you do that thing where someone waves at you, but they're actually waving at the person behind them, but you think they were waving at you, so you wave back?
I'm gonna go ahead and pause here. So you're seeing a lot of fear come into Kevin's expressions with the raising of the eyebrows, opening of the eyelids further. This won't be a common experience with pain in all scenarios, especially if it's an anticipated pain or one that has been experienced before. So there's that cycle that's existent there. So you might not see the fear come in there. However, we're seeing it come in here, and the context is the essential part in this, is what is the context of the pain that's being experienced. For Kevin, this is likely fairly novel. I doubt that he has experienced this level of spiciness before, so the fear does make sense as this is new ground that he's treading here. However, there's still a fair bit to go, so let's keep watching.
So you wave back, and then you guys are kind of caught in that weird thing where they're like, dude, I wasn't waving at you, and then it's uncomfortable for everybody.
Put your hand in your pocket.
Just keep them in your pockets, don't wave back at anyone.
As soon as you turn around, just put your hand in your pocket. Brother, how many times have you done this?
So I've done this 40 times. You're number 40.
Shit.
It can happen.
All right, gonna go ahead and pause there. So we saw the nonverbal displays of Kevin throughout all of that. Even towards the end there, you start seeing him rub his hands on his pant legs there. That would be probably because his palms are sweating. Again, this is likely due to the heat of the hot wings themselves, not due to the pain. The pain can cause sweating, as we've already talked about, but it's not just due to the pain that the sweating is existent. But we're seeing some of these nonverbal tells come out, so we'll be able to hopefully see throughout the rest of these people as they experience them, and they're not all Kevin Hart. It's a myriad of people from a myriad of different backgrounds with a myriad of different culinary palates experience this pain, so we'll hopefully be able to see some consistencies across, find some patterns in there to be able to work with. Let's watch through.
And da bomb! That's trying a little hard. It looks like a poison bottle with some kind of a nuclear weapon on it.
Right.
Caution. Caution. Okay, beyond insanity is this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It comes in late. Definitely comes in late.
And hard.
Super fucking hard.
Yeah.
That, I'm not gonna hurt anybody's feelings, right? This is
No.
okay. That is the kind of spice that I'm not crazy about because it doesn't have flavor. It's just like battery acid. Fuck.
So how?
That's not, it's no flavor. That's just, I'm all fuck with you. That's what that sauce is. It keeps growing too, huh? It's not stopping.
No.
It's
Roller
just
coaster's
building.
going up.
Breathing hurts. Like when you breathe, it activates it.
Yeah. So I know that you're a huge...
All right, gonna go ahead and pause there after that initial reaction. Okay, so she's much more, she's more controlled than Kevin was But immediately when she starts getting hit with the heat of it, you see her eyebrows flash up and her eyes widen. Again, that's partial fear or surprise. That would make sense contextually there as the pain starts to kick in. And then what I'm noticing a lot about her is that she starts to narrow her eyes. Now, this narrowing of eyes is usually in relation to anger, contempt, disgust, something along those lines. People will also use it to try to focus as well. We're also seeing some disgust come into the corner of her nose, but that could also then be related to the grimace that is pain. Now, the disgust or the contempt or the aggression would make sense in relation to the response system to pain. When you feel that pain that's not warranted, then there's going to be a negative emotional pushback to it. So again, we're starting to see that. However, she is far more controlled with her nonverbal communication in regards to that until she starts doing some very overt venting behavior. Again, as we talked about earlier, this could be because of the heat of the capsaicin. It could just be because of the pain. It could be a combination, and likely is a combination there of both. So we're seeing these patterns start to come through here. We'll see how she responds to various questions that he asks here. Let's go.
Huge UFC fan. I see you by the cage, and you're not afraid to talk trash to some heavyweights every once in a while. I love it. Can you pull back the curtain on what it's like to watch a pay-per-view event with Charlize Theron? Because I picture glasses flying and tables being flipped.
It's painful. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, whenever I can reserve my energy, I'm usually sitting on my couch. This is so hard. Just being lazy. It takes a lot for me to be animated. Can I have some rice? I gotta try the rice. It's not like, I like spice, but that's just like, that's like somebody being an asshole.
Right.
It's like, that's a dick move right there.
Yeah.
Like, I hate my tongue right now. If I could pull it out, I would.
Imagine being me.
And you know it's fucked up because I got part of it on one side of my lip, but not on the other side of my lip. I just want to flip that bottle off. Like, you just ruined this whole thing for me.
Gonna go ahead and pause there. So again, she did pretty well. Something that does start to stick out to me along with this, as pain is a negative stimulus in the body. Any form of stimulus can cause a person to start to need to vent that energy. So as we're seeing that pain come in, you could see her in areas starting to wring her hands, a lot of shifting around and postural changes as this pain is overwhelming her senses. And so this is also another thing that can be seen in people experiencing pain, is some levels of fidgeting. Although, again, not universal. That's one of the difficulties with this experience of pain, is that it is not a universal thing for everybody. Now, both interviewees so far have displayed similar nonverbal communication each time, but each one has done so lightly differently, and this is only hammering home that variance from person to person while still having some levels of continuity across. So we're seeing perhaps this fidgetiness, we're seeing the venting behaviors, we're still seeing occasional grimaces, but none of it is as overt as what Kevin displayed here. So we're getting a pretty decent idea as to how pain in this specific setting can express itself. We're on to the next person here, which is Gordon Ramsay. Should be wonderful. Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't realise coming to the hot ones, I'd leave with fucking 3 arseholes. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's nice to have a fucking nuclear lab. Look at the label on that fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? Huh?
That haunts my dreams.
Yeah, I mean, the wings are getting fucking smaller and smaller. Now they look like my fucking granddad's his fucking big toe. How do you get a chicken wing that looks like my granddad's big toe?
Wait till you bite into it.
Right.
It tastes like your grandfather's big toe.
Oh, yeah. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's like fucking sticking your tongue in a fucking plate of acid. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
What's the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow when I'm back behind the line, tasting and perfecting? Where the fuck are you gonna be tomorrow? Because I may have to call you. Shit.
I'll be in town, Gordon. And you're never one to mince words when it comes to items that don't reach your culinary standards, whether it's pub food that's laced in truffle oil, or tasting menus overrun with foams. But how does Gordon Ramsay feel about some of the 2018 food trends that have been bubbling up across social media?
I'm gonna go ahead and pause here as Mr. Ramsay chugs a cup of Pepto-Bismol, which is something I have not tried for spiciness. If you're watching this and you've tried that, let me know in the comments if that does or does not work. That's a weird one to me. Now, for Ramsay's expression of pain, how he navigates it, he immediately meets the pain with aggression and anger. You can see that with the drawing together, lowering of the eyebrows, the verbose language. You see some occasional partial fear expressions coming in with the pulling to the sides of the mouth again. And then you start to see the flushing start to happen. Now, the flushing isn't necessarily related to pain. In fact, oftentimes when a person is experiencing intense pain, you could see the blood leave their face, and so they become more pale. That's not the case here, but that would make sense. He's experiencing a spice, which will cause the flush, and it will cause the sweating, things along those lines. So we're seeing that come out through here, but what I just find fascinating, along with all of the agitation and manipulators that he's just doing across his body as he's trying to cope with this new stimuli, is the aggression that's characterized across his face. Now that fits more with what we all kind of expect Gordon Ramsay's attitude to be in regards to just about anything, but it is also distinctly different from the prior two people experiencing the same pain stimulus. All that this is doing is showing the variance between people while still maintaining some of these smaller levels of consistency throughout. Let's watch this.
We'll find out today. Steven, laptop please. Gordon, how you doing, my man?
Now I feel like I've just swallowed a fucking mouthful of bandages. Oh, fucking hell, really? Shit, I'm now fucking crying over a fucking wing. And man, that's fucking hot. Yeah. So, charcoal foods. Fucking shit. That's hot. Uh-huh. How am I gonna go to the toilet later?
You know, it's an adventure for everyone. Careful on the eyes.
How often do people partake in?
All right, gonna go ahead and pause here. So some more nonverbal communication that I had seen in the prior interviewees that I didn't see in Gordon actually did start to come in there, and that would be that fear that I had mentioned before. You could see his eyebrows purely raising, his eyes widening. There is no indicator of that aggression or anger at those moments, as he's just dealing with the fearful experience of this unexpectedly intense spiciness. We've seen that now 3 out of 3 times. Gordon's just had an interesting little spicy twist of anger on top of everything. Now it looks like we're gonna watch Rhett and Link experience the same thing. I wonder what sort of consistency we're gonna see with this one.
People partake in the liquids by this point?
You know, it varies guest to guest. I just hit the milk. I just took a sip of the milk, but there's no shame in it, you know?
Well, I'm going to shame you for taking a sip of the milk.
All right. Well, then let's see if you get all the way through without it.
Okay, all right. I haven't taken any milk either.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
It starts to get, there's like a chemical quality to it.
Mm-hmm. It's not tasty. Again, we're into a place that's not about enjoyment.
It's getting hard.
Come, hey, we were having fun, man. This isn't fun anymore. This isn't fun anymore, Sean.
Are you rethinking that milk pledge at all at this point?
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God.
Oh gosh, there it is. Oh,
I'm trying to get to where I can swallow, but I don't know if my body gonna let me swallow.
Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh no.
It's going down.
Oh gosh.
All right, guys, you've known each other since 1984.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause here as they're dealing with that and the question's about to happen here. So on Rhett's side of things, when he initially bites in, I didn't see any of the fear come in initially, which I was honestly kind of expecting to see somewhat. Seems as though he muscled through that. You saw his eyebrows lower and drop. Draw together and drop. Yeah, you saw his eyebrows do that, and that's in that vein of aggression. Meanwhile, on the other side, Link does pretty quickly start to have some of the fear that we anticipated come into his expression with the pushing together and upwards of the eyebrows instead. And then you start to see that fear creep into Rhett's side of things as he continues to experience this. Along with that, obviously, Rhett is having the hiccups from the spice. There's some flushing that's coming out for both of them. And again, it's both spice and pain. Link is characterized by this partial fear expression. There's a moment where he's really trying to muscle down the bite that he took, and you could see the aggression come in there as he's working through that. However, what I find fascinating about both of their displays is that they're largely loosening their facial expression throughout it. There is, like I said, the partial fear in the eyebrows, something along those lines, but we're not seeing their faces regularly scrunched up in pain, and that loosening of the facial muscles is again something that can be seen in people experiencing levels of pain as well. It's just a complex emotion to be able to try to keep track of all of the different nonverbal avenues for, but this does allow us to kind of do so in a way that's a little bit more fun, so let's continue watching.
Attended the same school, the same high school, the same college. You've made hundreds of hours of videos together, but how well do you really know each other? Are there any skeletons in the closet? We'll find out now, and we're doing it Rhett and Link style. We've gamified the whole wing.
No, you gotta
Bust
throw it.
out the bucket of BFF questions.
I'm drinking my milk.
Thank you very much, Bill. Link, try not to puke in this one, because here's how it's going down.
You can
In
shame me all
here,
you want. I'm drinking the milk.
We have questions, and what you'll do is you'll each draw a question and then read it to the other one. So Link, you'll reach in, you'll pick a question, and you'll read it to Rhett. Rhett, then you'll reach into the bucket, pull a question, read it to Link.
I got it. I'll go first.
And you'll ask Link.
Link?
I'm gonna go ahead and pause here as they're very much struggling with this. I feel interestingly counteracted. As soon as I said they're keeping their faces fairly relaxed, then right shortly thereafter, both of them look anything but relaxed across their facial features. You could see a lot of the tenseness and the grimace that's coming in there. Rhett has some complications with his eyebrows going in various directions with the fear and aggression happening at the same time. Link just looks purely in pain, purely afraid. He's not like trying to aggressively muscle through this. Rhett's trying to a little bit more, but it is splashing in and out of each of their faces over this general overall grimace to fairly relaxed, loosened facial muscles as they're trying to cope with this intensely growing stimuli. This is different from what we had seen in the prior ones, as most people kept a consistency in that expression as they were going through. Rhett and Link have a shift on and off throughout each phase of it, it seems. So let's watch this.
What's your favorite swear word that you... What's your favorite swear word that you wish you could say more in GMM?
Oh.
Say it now, man.
Shit.
Okay, that was the end of their little thing there. We saw the flushing, the sweating, everything that we've seen in everybody else. But then at the end, Link does indeed try to really buckle down with his emotional state, and you see the aggression come in, and he says, shit. Which I guess he hopes or wishes that he could say more on Good Mythical Morning. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Let's see how Bill Burr handles his pain.
I'm put it up now. That tastes awful.
Yeah.
I gotta imagine that this is just the beginning of the awful of this one.
I might be hitting the
Does
water
that help?
soon.
Hit the water. Dude, I'm almost done with water. Oh my God, I can barely talk.
So as we've touched on, you're a huge sports fan. And I was impressed to learn that you've been to almost every major sports stadium in what, like 10 straight Rose Bowls?
Am I supposed to answer that, dude?
Okay. So Bill is showing a lot of the things that we kind of anticipated with that. We're seeing the fear come in there. At first he was trying to really be aggressive, gonna be on top of it, dominate this spice, and then the spice continued to grow, and as it continues to grow, you see his eyebrows change and his facial features change from aggression to more fear, perhaps panic is involved in there. We're hearing a lot of the coughing come in and things like that. Obviously, they're going to have that happen because of the spice. But then we're also seeing him do similarly to how Rhett and Link did with the shifting back and forth. Sometimes it's fear that he's expressing. Sometimes it's anger that he's expressing. Sometimes it's just a relaxation of the entirety of the facial features as he's trying to perhaps regulate in that way as well. So all of these are starting to come out here. We're also seeing the venting behaviors and the reposturing and the manipulators start to come out as this new intense stimuli is flooding his system. We're finding this pattern, albeit different across the different people. We're finding a pattern that does exist for this specific scenario of pain. Now, there are other scenarios of pain, and we might do more videos on that in the future, but for this one specifically, we're getting a fairly good understanding as to how a person will respond and display non-verbally in regards to it. So let's watch this a little bit more.
Holy fuck.
In the foodie
You went milk?
I know I did.
All right, I'm going milk. I gotta go milk.
And the foodie revolution is infiltrated.
Oh, that's so gross. It's room temperature. Who does that to somebody?
And the foodie revolution has really infiltrated this stadium. And I'm curious, do you have any thoughts when you see a 2-foot-long tamale-laden dog at
Trying
a
to get the
Rangers
milk down my
game?
throat.
Or creme brulee French toast being served at Fenway Park?
Don't breathe through your mouth. It goes into your throat. Oh, don't touch my eyes. Dude, what the fuck? That's worse than India. Not say India's a bad place. Do I have to apologize now? I gotta walk it off.
Yeah, go ahead.
gotta
Take a
walk it
lap.
off.
Take a lap, Bill.
Oh my god. Dude, that's the hottest fucking thing I've ever ate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, fuck. It's not going away. Oh my god.
So the foodie revolution, it's really infiltrated
Fuck
the
your
sports
question.
stadium.
I don't give a fuck what people eat. I just hate the flat screen TVs.
Killing all the sauces.
You got your rankings wrong here.
Yeah, what would you do? How would you switch?
All right, so it looks like we're at the end of that. We got to see more of the venting behaviors. He even got so far as to have to get up, walk around, really try to deal with this stimulus. Again, flooding his nervous system as the pain is quite overwhelming from an overtly spicy food like that. And we're seeing other physiological tells that he can't very easily control, and that would be like the veins popping out in various areas along his neck and on his face. With this, we're being able to see a series of people experiencing the same stimulus in a fairly controlled environment with decent quality cameras, so we're able to kind of pick up on a few of these nonverbal tells. In future videos, like I mentioned before, we're going to possibly be able to observe people experiencing various stimuli to invoke these various emotional states in a way that would be genuine. So we're not relying on somebody having to pretend that they're sad or pretend that they're afraid or what have you. It's a genuine emotion that's trying to escape in a way that might want to be controlled. So in this scenario, they're doing an interview, so they have to still try to be a little bit put together for the sake of answering questions. So you'll see a person try to consciously control portions of themselves that are being subconsciously controlled. Some other ideas is I might do a video on people getting tattoos so that you can see a person experiencing pain in that realm that doesn't have the extra muddiness of the spice involved. I've done the other video of embarrassment on here. I have videos planned for happiness. I'm trying to figure out concepts for sadness and anger, all of these different emotional states. I want to be able to hopefully work through the entirety of the 7 universal emotions that we know today and see if we could find ways to genuinely represent them online in a way that's consumable, educational, and also entertaining as well. So if you did like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know what else you would like to see in the comments of the video. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. I should be uploading fairly regularly here in 2025. But without further ado, that's all that I've got for the day. My name is Logan, and you have been oh so awesome as you always are, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.